Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the JDA Football Podcast, Season 3 for the Premier League 21-22 season. I'm joined by Alex. No Joe, unfortunately. He's at the Trafford Centre spending his money and he's going camping soon. So fair enough. How are you doing, Alex, first?
Doing great. How are you?
Yeah, good. Both away, aren't we, at the moment?
Yeah. I'm in Devon.
Yeah, and I'm in Wales. But yeah, it should be good to see what this season holds. Champions League. We'll go through the transfer news today. Lionel Messi, Romelu Lukaku, Jack Grealish, Harry Kane possibly. I mean, the list goes on, doesn't it? We'll speak about them just in 1 second, but I want to introduce you to what we are here now with StreamYard. We've done this in a couple of games where we've live streamed the games, but we've decided now that we're going to be live streaming the podcasts on here. And we'll be also uploading them afterwards on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. So make sure to check them out if you don't really want to watch the full video and want to hear it. Save your data, sort of, download the podcast on Spotify. That's what I normally do. But yeah, we'll get straight into it. So we'll start off with the main man of the moment. Let me just get him up. Nearly there. Here we are. PowerPoint I'm using. So, Alex, Lionel Messi, after 21 years at Barcelona, he's finally left in unfortunate circumstances, let's just say. But yeah. PSG is going to be a hell of a move for him, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I know not many people no one at Barcelona and even Messi really wanted to leave Barcelona at the end, and then obviously, when he did leave, there was only really one place that most of us thought he was going. I think it came down to probably City or PSG, and then City just stays early. We've spent 100 million on a player that we'll probably speak about in a minute. But yeah, there was only really one place to go, be with Neymar and Mbappe. What a front three that is going to be next season. But I think you've got to say that they probably have to win the Champions League this year if they're ever going to win it, because they have such a good team now, definitely the best in the world. So, yeah, I mean, it's probably the best move that he could have done in the circumstance, but I think he probably would have wanted to stay if he was going with his heart.
Yeah, and we were talking about before we came on live, the Messi influence of, I think it's under 24 hours, 3.5 million followers PSG got. And I think you said before, how many was it? They've gone up by 25 million.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Just the Messi effect, isn't it? How well do you think he'll do? Because he's not starting this weekend, I don't think, because he's got to get his fitness up and he's just his performance levels. So he'll be starting in the next coming weeks, we presume. But how is he going to slot into that team? Because that team can seem to play a three at the back with Kimpembe, Marquinhos and Ramos. Or they can play a back four. So many options.
I really don't know. I think there's going to be a lot of rotation, as we see with some teams like Man City and Pep Guardiola. Obviously, they have Di Maria, who plays the exact same position as Messi, but you never know. They could play him either through the centre on the right and then alternate like Mbappe, Neymar, and him, and maybe even Di Maria as well. And also all the other players that they're bringing in on a free, like Ramos, Donnarumma, who at the moment is probably the best goalkeeper in the world. So they're just going to be a very dominant force. But I think he'll do well. I would have liked him to go to a bit more of a competitive league, maybe like the Premier League, because there's always been that criticism that he hasn't really done it anywhere other than Barcelona. And I wouldn't say the French league's a step up from the Spanish league. So I think he'll definitely do very well. He's kind of at the later stages of his career, but I have no doubt he will tear it up there.
Does this help the debate with Ronaldo and Messi in a way? Because we always say with Messi, he's a one-man team, or one-man club, sorry. So does this help his debate for that side going to another league? But could you say it's not, like you said before, it's not the Premier League, so it's not the highest standards in Europe?
Yeah, it definitely helps it because, obviously they've only said he can do it at Barcelona, and then obviously he's done it somewhere. Bella, yeah, obviously he's doing it somewhere else, but yeah, you can still keep the criticism that obviously it's probably a step down, if anything, on the league. So yeah, there'll always be that criticism, but it does develop his argument.
Yeah, and to help his argument as well with winning the Copa America, that surely has to put him up in more contention as well, because we've seen Ronaldo do it in the Euros 2016. So for Messi to do it with Argentina, because he came so close in the World Cup, it just helps his argument even more. I mean, I think you think he's the greatest of all time, don't
you?
Yeah. I can see in the way you play as well. You sort of play like him, not just because you're left-footed, but yeah, you do play like him in a way. So yeah, we'll move on to the next player, which will be Super Jack. He's gone to Manchester City for a record Great British fee, 100 million. We all expected it in the end, Alex. I think he wants to win trophies, and that's why he's gone to Manchester City.
Yeah, there was always that thing, like, as well as he did in the Euros, you think he'd have to go somewhere that at least was playing European football. And although I think Villa, with the signings they made, are going to be pushing for that European place, I think Jack Grealish at the stages in his career that he just needs to be playing that one step up. And I think with City, he'll get that. And also, like, as the transfer window went on, we could just see City pushing, and you can't really reject City in that position. If they're going to spend £100 million on one of your players, Villa always accept it, and then he's probably on a ludicrous amount of wages as well. So he was always going to go for me.
When I first heard this rumor going around, was it about a year ago or years ago even, I thought they don't really need him. If you think about the attacking options that they've got, it's out of this world. Phil Foden and Kevin De Bruyne are probably for your starters unless Foden plays on the wing. Bernardo Silva, Gundogan, Rodri. I mean, I know he doesn't really play the same position. All these great attacking players, and to get another one in, it's sort of a bit of a joke, isn't it? I mean, they virtually won this league last season without playing a striker and just a false nine.
Yeah,
Sterling, Bernardo Silva, De Bruyne. So how will Pep play him, do you reckon? Because we've seen him play on the wing at Villa, of course.
I literally have no idea. Like, he's got Foden, who probably can play anywhere else, but he's most dominant on the left. And then you got Sterling, who probably won't want to sit on the bench for Jack Grealish for all of the season. So I really don't know how it's going to work. But yeah, Pep Guardiola, if any manager's going to find a player's best position, then it's probably going to be him. I can't really see him going through the centre, Jack Grealish. He's probably better in the middle or out wide. So yeah, I really don't know, but I'm confident he'll get the best out of him.
Yeah, it's scary to think what he can do with them as well, because what I did with Sterling, making him from a good average player to a pretty good player.
World
class, you could say. God knows what Grealish is going to go on to do. Do you reckon, and this is just me looking into the future, do you reckon he could be up for a top 5 nomination of a Ballon d'Or? If Pep gets it right, this is.
Yeah, if he boosts his goals and assists, like he got 10 assists, I'm pretty sure, with Villa last season. If he boosts it, like if City getting a striker and then he can just ping balls in left, right, and centre, then he can get some of the stats up a bit higher rather than just being a world-class footballer on the pitch. And I think he might be up there. But again, it's a big assumption.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Villa have spent the money very, very wisely. I think they spent it before they even knew the deal was official. So they must have knew it was in the works and everything, because they must have had contact from City, surely. So spending it on Buendia. We'll talk about Ings in a minute. Ashley Young, Twanzebe. I'm trying to think of other players that they've bought. That's all I can remember at the moment. But Buendia and Ings. Leon Bailey, yeah, 100. Get that in. All on really good fees as well. They're all around the 30 million mark, which is great business, because Leon Bailey quoted some of the top 6 clubs and top clubs around Europe. They were asking for about 60 million at one point.
I was going to say, like, if you had read out that transfer window to me and then didn't say the team, I probably would have gone somewhere like Tottenham or Arsenal. And for Villa to have pulled off some of those transfers, I think probably, if City don't get the Kane deal done, I'd say they have had the best window, because the players they have signed are probably above their level that they have been in the last few years. And I think they can, like, really propel them to go forward.
Yeah.
And their defence is pretty much sorted anyway, so I think the attacking options is really what they needed.
I'm just thinking left back, and I know Target had a good season last year, but if you've got, I don't know, a Sancho, say, for instance, coming up against him, he's not the quickest, is he, compared to a lot of fullbacks? So that's probably one area you could sort out. But the rest of the team, you're looking at top 8 there, really, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely. I think they, as you said, probably a left back could have come in for some money, but obviously with the 100 million, they spent 90 of it, and I don't think you can get a left back much better than Target for under 10 mil. So yeah, I think they probably did the best that they could have done with 100 million.
I mean, I say that they've brought Ashley Young in, so they've got experience as well, and he's not as quick as he used to be, but yeah, he's still a great player, and I'm sure he'd do a great job for them. Of course, coming back, and this time from Inter Milan. I was going to ask one more question about Grealish. Actually, what legacy does he leave behind at Villa? Will he be a Villa legend?
I think. Oh, I don't know. Obviously, I think it got the Villa fans a bit rattled when obviously he signed the contract. I think it was like this time last year, so a long-term contract then, and then a year later he's just gone and wasted it away. But I think he has to leave some sort of legacy. Like, he stayed with them. He's obviously a very, very good player, and he stayed with them through the Championship, through the season that they almost got relegated, and then he's pushed them on to this position that they're in now, where they wouldn't have dreamt to have been like 5 or 6 years ago. So he does leave. He won't leave a heroic legacy at Villa because of the way that he's left them, but he has to leave some sort of legacy.
Yeah, maybe legend's the wrong word. Maybe like a cult hero, Malatissi.
Yeah,
maybe. That's probably a better word, I think. We'll go on to the next player now, and it is the main man, Romelu Lukaku at Chelsea. He's returning to Chelsea after 7 years leaving. Of course, he's been to Everton since then, Manchester United, and most recently Inter Milan. Alex, we know firsthand what Romelu Lukaku is like. We've both had different experiences with him at Everton and United. But what can he bring to this Chelsea team? I mean, they've been lacking goals. I think the highest goal scorer last year was Jorginho with 8 goals. So is this the key person that they needed?
I think definitely. I would have probably preferred for them to go for Erling Haaland, but obviously that might have been a bit more before his release clause. And obviously he's a bit younger, but they just needed that target man. Like, they lost Giroud, and even Giroud last season, I'm not sure he started a single game in the Premier League, and he still got nearly their top goal scorer. So you could see what they were missing, and I think with like bringing Lukaku, and I think that's perfect for them. And obviously they've got Werner to bring in games that probably don't suit Lukaku, like some with like tall defenders that he probably can't do much against, and then Werner can probably use his pace. So I think it's a very intelligent transfer from Chelsea.
Yeah, of course, like you said there, depending on the formation that they go with, I've heard a lot of people say Werner's being forced out to the wing with Lukaku coming in. And I suppose it's playing to his advantage sort of with pace, but what we saw with Leipzig, he was playing more of a left forward role, you could say. So he could be playing that role at Chelsea if they play 3 at the back.
Yeah.
But at the wing, do you reckon he could get isolated a bit too much?
Maybe, yeah. I haven't seen enough from Werner on the wing to tell you much about it, but it might suit him because obviously he's not the best finisher at all, and maybe him putting some balls into a target man will do him good.
Yeah, and does this signing make Chelsea a runner for the Premier League title?
I'm going to say yes, but obviously there's some points last season where you probably wouldn't say they were, just because most of their players were pretty inconsistent. But yeah, I think it probably does. I think we're all probably going to say it's Man City's to lose, but coming off a Champions League win, I think a lot of people are forgetting, they definitely should be in the running.
Yeah. I mean, Tuchel's tactics are just outrageous. I mean, the fact that I know City didn't play with Rodri as a central defensive midfielder in the final, but even in itself, I've not seen him been out-tacticked by anybody since he came in.
Yeah.
And to think of that's pretty scary. And I know we thought of it with Pep, but it's just the high press, playing 3 at the back. They're always in your face, and when they've got the ball, people are saying, "Oh, they counter-attack too much." But like we saw in the Super Cup yesterday, which we'll come on to in a bit, they dominated the ball. At one point, they had 71% possession, and they were using it brilliantly down the flanks. So it's really terrifying to see that. And with Lukaku up front, I mean, it's just going to be an absolute nightmare for defenses, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if he works hard, which I think that was one of my biggest criticisms for him when he was at Everton, he didn't really work hard enough. But if Tuchel can get him working really hard and pressing defenders, then there's no reason they can't do really, really well this season.
That is another thing, actually. Pressing. We've not really seen Lukaku in any of the teams, and I don't think I've really seen him at Inter. press people, and that's the way that Tuchel plays. So
Yeah.
Will that be the only thing holding him back to getting maybe into the starting 11 every single week if he's not putting the goals in, of course?
Yeah, definitely. I think he probably has worked on quite a bit while he's been into, like, obviously there was a lot of criticism about his first touch and obviously first time shooting and stuff like that, but he's definitely worked on that. So I think Tuchel will probably work on him with pressing, and then hopefully he can, yeah, as you said, start every week.
Yeah, so Chelsea looking absolutely insane at the moment. I forgot to mention the fee, 97.5 million. I mean, he's gone for massive fees, 20 million from Anderlecht. I think he came to you for around 35 million, I think it was.
Yeah, somewhere around that.
Around that. United, 75 million. Then he went to Inter Milan for around 80, I think it was, 78. And now he's come back for 97.5 million. I mean, we know no player's worth that, but is that the value of Lukaku with him putting all the goals over in Italy?
Yeah, it's very hard to find a striker at the moment like him who will net wherever he goes. So I think, as you said, although no footballer is worth that amount of money, he's one of the main people that probably proves it.
We'll go on to another player now. That is, if I can get it up, sorry. Sergio Aguero. Now, he was absolutely buzzing, let me just say, to play with Lionel Messi, not Sergio Aguero, to play with Messi. Messi's moved now. Apparently, he's picked up an injury that will keep him out until November. How much should we read into this, Alex?
Oh, I hope not much. Like, there's always going to be that thing that tells you, like, he's just gone to Barcelona to play with Messi, and then obviously Messi leaves, so he'll want to be out. But I think if he was a professional, he wouldn't act like the media are portraying him to act. Like, he just wants to leave after Messi leaves. So I hope he is professional with it. But if he's not, I think I wouldn't blame it on Barcelona at all. Like, they wanted to keep Messi, and they probably want to keep Aguero. But I got to tell you, I wouldn't be surprised.
What if he leaves in December? Maybe?
Yeah, I honestly, with the way Barca are going at the moment, nothing would surprise me really.
Yeah, that would just top it off, really, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Whilst the time he will be there, hopefully, will he get the service? That's a big question. We've seen Petri, but he's been run down this last year. I think he's played. I saw 73 games. I don't know if that's completely right. But
Yeah.
He's played a lot of games, so he might have a bit of a break. Being put on the bench. So where's the service coming from? Ousmane Dembele up front,
I mean,
maybe. Griezmann.
they've spent the money. Like, they've got Coutinho, they've got Dembele, they've got Did I say Griezmann?
No, I said Griezmann.
Yeah, with the amount of money they've spent, he should get service. But as you said, none of these players at the moment are on their best form. But like, with Messi gone, surely some of them have to step up and be the main focal point in the team, and then hopefully have one of the best seasons of their life and keep Barcelona pushing.
I think Griezmann has to step up for the amount that they paid for him, and he's just not really showed it. Maybe because Messi's overshadowing him. I get that, but now's the time to come in and say, I'm a top player now. I deserve to have that Netflix documentary. That's because did you see it? It was Becoming a Legend, I think it was, wasn't it? I think under his documentary, it was something along those lines.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So with competition with Aguero up front, I think that'll do him the world of good. I mean, competition with Messi as well. It's hard to get past him, but with Aguero, I think his finishing will get a lot better. But he's been put out on the wing. He's played as a false nine sometimes for Barca. He seems like Pogba. He seems like a totally different player in the French national than he does for his club, Barcelona.
Yeah. I think he's just been isolated. Like, it's always the focal point has been Messi in that team, and when someone like Griezmann, who was the focal point for so many years in Atletico Madrid, it was just hard for him to adapt. But I think with some players around him who, like, they've never really had a striker since Suarez, Barcelona. So I think if Griezmann can come in and put some balls in like he does for France for Aguero, then I think they'll bag a load, and then hopefully he'll develop his form.
We'll move on to his former City teammate now, John Stones, who has signed a new deal until 2026. Of course, he's had a last great 2-3 seasons at City. He dropped off a bit, didn't he? And we all questioned him whether he was ready for City and a big top club after leaving Everton. But the Barnsley Beckenbauer has officially signed his contract. Alex, of course, you know him from Everton very well. City know him very well, and we've seen him for England this summer. Another great player to get nailed down.
Yeah, I don't think there was any concern about him leaving for City. Obviously, he hasn't really been the best in the last couple of years for them, but this season he's just really turned it on alongside Ruben Dias. And yeah, I couldn't really see him not signing a new contract, but yeah, I mean, it's a good job for City.
Yeah, I'm sure Pepper wants to tie it up at the back as well. And with Nathan Ake not really getting a look in, I know he's played some pre-season games.
Yeah.
He's too good to be on the bench, surely. He should be playing
40
first.
million as well.
I know, but we know what City like with spending and keeping players on the bench. But Nathan Ake is a first-team Premier League player, I think.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably got 3 centre-backs in front of him, so it's always going to be hard for him. But again, I could see some of the City players at the moment wanting to move away, like Bernardo Silva and Nathan Ake. They're much too good to sit on the bench week in, week out and just play some cup games. So
yeah, I heard Bernardo Silva was not in talks, but like talking to Pep about possibly moving because, of course, he's another great player who probably should be deserving first-team football. But
yeah,
he's still staying at the moment. We'll move on to Marcelo Bielsa now. He has signed new deal with Leeds to take him to the end of this next season, 21-22. I think they really needed it, didn't they? With all the signings that he's came in, Jack Harrison making that a permanent deal, that was key. Junior Firpo coming in from Barcelona for, I heard, 17 million, which is an absolute bargain. All these certain players that are getting nailed down, Bielsa's the man to put them into a squad. It's great to see, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think he's probably the best thing that's happened to Leeds in quite a while, and just for them to get him for even one more season is great. I don't really see him leaving unless he has either a belter of a season or a bad season, either going to a bigger club or even a smaller club. But yeah, his tactics are just phenomenal. He gets so much out of the players, and I couldn't really see him leaving either.
Yeah, I think the mistake Leeds made last season when coming through, and this is an only small mistake, was they might have went too far with the press, because in the Championship, if you go and press a team that's not Premier League quality, you're going to get the ball off them better. And even if they get the ball and try and pass it out, it's still going to be hard for them. But with the players in the Premier League, it's very different. And I think he sort of found that out in the first couple of games. He switched it up in January. And you could all of a suddenly, you could start to see the results changing. He's not conceding as many goals, like with United 6-2. And then later on in the season, it was 1-1. So it's those little things that make him a great manager. And Junior Firpo, when he came into the club, I've just seen a quote of him recently say, this is the first time he's come into a club and he knows what he's doing because he's been shown data, analysis, videos. So to think that's how much Bielsa goes into the football game and how he reviews it. It's great to see. I know they call him, is it El Loco over in Argentina? Yeah. So, I mean, he's football obsessed, but in a good way for Leeds, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. I also saw that quote about Firpo. They just seem a very well-run club. I mean, with Bielsa, as you said, he just breathes football. So, yeah, he's always going to be the man for the job for Leeds, and I can honestly see him going somewhere even bigger, maybe even Real Madrid or someone like that later, unless he takes Leeds somewhere even.
Yeah, because he's not really renowned for going to top clubs, as we know.
No.
Carabao, I think there was an Argentinian club that he went to that he's a childhood supporter of. Leeds, Marseille. So it's not the big clubs in every single country. I know Marseille are a big club, but compared to PSG at the moment, they're nowhere near them. So we'll have to see what Bielsa does in this next season. How far do you reckon he can go in this next season with Leeds?
I'd like to see them pushing a bit more than they were last season for the for a European place. I know, there's always second season syndrome for teams that have just come up, but I think they've got a good enough squad to override that. So
yeah, and going back to Firpo just very quickly, he's played in some great squads. Real Betis, they were playing in a squad that came 7th, 8th. Then he moves to Barcelona. Of course, we know they're not the best run club. but they've still got the tactics. The philosophy that Pep's left behind and Cruyff is still there. So to think that he's been shown and he feels the most comfortable at this club, it's crazy to think that it would be Leeds, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
We'll move on to numerous amounts of things now. We'll start off with the main man in the bottom left corner, Inter Milan's Christian Ericsson, of course. We spoke about it earlier on in the Euros, what happened to him with his cardiac arrest, but it's good to see him back at the training ground, isn't it, Alex, with all of the teammates?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think it gets enough attention how bad the scenario that he went through was. And I think you just feel really lucky to be alive at the moment. And then hopefully he can get his football career back on track. I don't know what's happening with him, or even if he can't do play football, hopefully he goes into coaching and stuff like that, because he's too good of a player to be wasting all that talent.
Definitely. And I think if he can't play football, coaching, I think it would be a great coach, maybe an assistant coach, because as the maestro that he is, at Ajax with Edwin van der Sar, the maestro and playmaker that he is and could still be, is just scary to think what he can do with other players as well. Even if he goes to Barca and Pedri, imagine that. Off the scale, the stuff that he could do with him. But yeah, hopefully we can see him back on the pitch soon. But yeah, it's good to see him doing very well at the moment. We'll move on to the right-hand corner now. Richarlison and Alex, starting to explain his gold medal.
So yeah, Richarlison. I think he only got in because one of the other players dropped out because their team didn't want to let them in, and then obviously he's gone to the Olympics, bagged 5 goals, top scorer, and brought back the gold medal. And I think we offered him if he wanted to go on holiday as well, and he just come straight back, which is a nice touch. And yeah, it was just another nice touch from the club as well.
Yeah, Brazil were brilliant throughout the Olympics, weren't they? Along with Spain, with half of their squad, or the majority of them coming back from the Euros. So 2 great squads there. But yeah, Brazil retained sort of their gold medal after winning in Rio 2016. We'll go on to the next piece of news, which is Leicester City Stadium. Now, this is meant to be taking place this autumn, the starting building, so it's quite sudden. But to see the plans coming out, just from this first image, Alex, what do you think of the stadium? It's like a dome, isn't it?
Is it in the same place?
Yeah, so I think it's in the same place, but they're just having it renovated, sort of the outside and a bit of the inside.
It gives me. Is it the Allianz Arena?
Oh yeah,
by Munich.
Cut in half.
Yeah,
it's all giving me.
I think it'll grow on people, but I don't know. Looks like a giant mushroom at the moment.
It always looks different on the graphics that they have it, because it's not built, of course. It always looks different, and I'm sure it'll look different with your new stadium as well. But we'll go on to the second image now of inside the stadium, and it looks like they're going to a higher tier 2. Sorry, I'll just put it back on there.
Yeah,
it's just going on to a higher tier 2 sort of, and it's in a way for me, this is from Leicester's point of view, saying to everyone else, we're now starting to become a big club in the Premier League, getting a better stadium, the squad's brilliant, training grounds one of the best in England. All of these little things are starting to add up to making Leicester a big club. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's going to be a more beneficial thing to happen than building a new stadium. A lot of other teams like Arsenal, West Ham, and even Tottenham, they really struggle to get back in the new stadium. And I mean, if Leicester can build up their capacity by just adding a bit onto the current stadium, then that's really beneficial for them. And as you said, they're just slowly taking steps to becoming a bigger club.
Yeah, I forgot to mention before, Jadon Sancho in the top left corner. That was his first day at training. So yeah, Sancho earlier this week going to Manchester United for the first time training. Alex, what did you think of his number, 25? I was shocked when it first came out, because of course Cavani's not going to give up his 7. He's leaving at the end of the season, I think. So Sancho's come in and go on.
Was he number 25 when he first was at Borussia Dortmund?
No, I'm sure he was a different number. I'm going to have a quick look now, but I'm sure he was a different number. I thought it was like something ending with 7. I don't know if it was 17, but I don't think it was, because it would have been Aubameyang, wouldn't it?
I know he was somewhat weird at City because they
No,
always have like 90 something.
yeah, he was 7 when he came in up to Dortmund. So fair play to him.
Oh,
We'll look at his number at Manchester City just very quickly.
it's a nice number, I think, 25 though. It's not one of
Yeah.
those out there numbers. So
And he was 11 at City. So it could be a new number for him unless he played it when he was like very, very young. Let me just check when he was at Watford. So when he was at Watford, I don't think he actually had a number back then on his shirt, or that I can see it of. So yeah, it could be a new number, but yeah, I was just quite shocked by it at the moment. He's played for England with 17 as his main number, 11, and he's also played 21 coming off the bench. So he's had that, but not 25, which I'm aware of. So it's a bit different, but new club, new number, you could say. We'll move on to Harry Kane now. And Manchester City, we've heard what's going on with Kane this week. And I don't know if I said this to you, Alex, but when it was all going on about last week, start of last week, the week before, everyone was saying he's missing training because he's going to City. And of course, Grealish at the end of that week, last week, was announced. So it all changed really. But I heard that he came from the Bahamas, and of course you have to isolate now. And with Sportsman, I think 5 days, I think it is, and then you can ask for a test, and then you can obviously get out of self-isolation. So that's what I was thinking at the time. But then it could be a bit more into the Manchester City deal. So at that current time, apparently a gentleman's agreement had been agreed essentially between Daniel Levy and Harry Kane. And it was basically saying if a big club came in with a big fee, Kane was basically like, I want to go, obviously to win trophies and make a better career out of himself, because I know that everybody thinks that he can. So that was agreed. And then obviously Daniel Levy, when it comes to this, push to shove, he doesn't want to do it, as we all know with Daniel Levy. But yeah, this is the case. Harry Kane wants to leave for 150 million, as been today quoted. City are preparing a bid. Where are you standing on Kane at the moment, Alex? Because all these rumours going around, I don't know which one to believe, but we'll go with the 150 million one. If it does come in, will Kane force this move? Because at the moment, he seems pretty standard and chill at the moment at Spurs.
Yeah, I've always seen Kane as a very professional footballer. So it doesn't strike me he's the type of footballer to miss training just to force a move away. So yeah, I'm probably gonna go with the idea of him isolating from being on holiday. But yeah, he's definitely. I think he's still 27, so he only has, I'd say, 5 years at the top level of his career. So it wouldn't surprise me if a deal that comes in, he'll try and force a move, because he's too good of a player to not win any trophies for me. So
yeah, and I think all the Spurs fans realise that he's too good to not win a trophy. So with him going to City, he's virtually guaranteed at least one trophy, considering they've won 10 in the past 3 years or something like that. So
yeah,
it is the right step in the direction for his career, but whether it'll happen or not, we'll have to see. Of course, City plays Spurs in their opening game, both of their opening games on Sunday. So it'll be interesting to see if he does line up against them. I think if he does line up against them, I don't think he'll go. I think that's what generally happens, doesn't it? But if he doesn't, there could be some rumours saying that are true in the end, I think, that he could be going to City. But with financial fair play sort of relaxing, as we've seen with PSG, this whole transfer window because of COVID, is this the perfect time for Man City to strike, would you say?
Yeah, definitely. And I think if he has another very, very good season with Tottenham, I think that's another reason for Tottenham to boost his price up. And Tottenham might even be thinking, like, if he doesn't have as best of a season, then they're not going to get as much as they would this season for him. So it's a very complicated for them. But I think it's going to happen this transfer window.
And what happened with Bale and Modric as well? When Modric was quoted to move to Chelsea, I don't think Daniel Levy and Spurs let that happen. But when he went to Real Madrid, he forced that move. Gareth Bale forced his move, really, and Spurs wanted the money to go to Real Madrid as well. So the same thing could happen with Kane. And all of Modric and Bale, they all seem to be sort of calm players, if you know where I'm coming from. They're not very aggressive, go out to get you, like Mina Raiola style sort of. They're all very calm, and when they force a move, I think they do it quite calmly. So we could see the same with Kane, but equally he could stay at the club. But yeah, we'll move on to some actual transfer news now that's happened. Axel Tuanzebe has secured a loan deal for this season to Aston Villa from Manchester United. I really wanted to get Joe's point of view in both of these signings and the signings overall, and Grealish, but unfortunately can't be with us. Tuanzebe, now we both said this in the chat, Alex, at the time. We don't know when he's going to start for Villa because both of us don't really see him getting in between the combo of Mings and Konza, really. I can see him playing in cup games, but I don't think he'll be in every game player for Aston Villa, and we know that because of that duo of centre back. But if one of them get injured, he's a perfect replacement to come in, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's one of the main reasons that Villa have brought him in. Like they only really have Courtney Hawes, I think it is, that can back up both centre backs. So if one of them was to get injured and then say another one to get injured, they'd be pretty screwed. So it's quite an intelligent signing, but yeah, as you said, I don't think he'll play that often.
Yeah, they have Engels as well, of course, but I think Tuanzebe would be in front of both of them, I think, with the quality that he does have. And he's, in a way, sort of the same mould as Konza, very quick, bulky, good strength as well. So modern-day defender, really. So it's great to see him getting some experience. And if he does very well, say if Mings gets injured and they play with Konza and Tuanzebe at the back, could we see a permanent deal for Tuanzebe if he does very well to Aston Villa?
You never know.
I'm just thinking of the United point of view. We've signed Varane, we've got Maguire, Lindelof and Bailly are probably going to be the coverings. So
yeah, I mean, I don't know where his heart is at the moment. Like he's been Villa on loan before, so he's probably got some sort of connection to them. But obviously, I think going through the United Academy, he's also got quite an affiliation with them as well. So I think it'll probably be down to him at the end of the day.
Yeah, definitely. We'll move on to the other man, onto the right-hand side. Now, the shock move of the transfer window, Premier League-wise anyway, Alex. Danny Ings moving from Southampton to Aston Villa for 30 million. An absolute bargain in many people's eyes, considering last year he was very close to getting the Golden Boot. Was he one goal off, or it was joint?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, there's been 2 or 3 seasons now that he's just outperformed many of the players at Southampton, and everyone thought he'd probably get a move sometime soon. He's got 1 year left on his contract, but I don't think many people thought it would be to Villa. But somehow they've got it over the line, and I think this is up there with signings of the season.
I mean, we spoke before about Villa's squad going top 8, top 6. This is the thing. Watkins are meant to be injured at the moment, as we've seen in fantasy. Ings comes in. They're the same team. I mean, the quality of strikers are both good now. So there's no excuse for not putting the ball back in the back of the net if they've not got the service, of course. But we know with Buendia, he might not be starting either. But Leon Bailey, I mean, the link up between Watkins, Ings and Bailey, Ings and Watkins might both not start. But even if one of them does and the other doesn't, there's still going to be so many combinations which they can do. And the pace from Watkins and Bailey, that is just going to be insane. And with Ings' finishing, you surely think Villa are going to get more goals than they did last season.
Yeah, definitely. As you said, one of the big criticisms for Ollie Watkins last season was he got a load of chances, but sometimes he couldn't really finish. And then with him playing out wide, which some people say he's probably better at, and then smashing some balls into Bailey and Ings, I think that'll go down a treat.
Yeah. Could we see him getting over the 18-goal mark, do you reckon?
I'd say that, yeah, I think 18 would be a great season, but I think 15 goals would be enough for Villa.
Yeah, and it also depends if Watkins might be the starter, because there'll be very, very good competition in that position.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see what happens. That will move on to some other transfer news now. Pereira, of course, was on loan at West Brom last season. Has moved to Al-Ahly, I think, is the way you pronounce it. Yeah, a Saudi Arabian club, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, it's just really a waste of talent for me. Like at some points last season, he was definitely West Brom's best player, but one of the best attacking midfielders probably in the league. And everyone put money on him moving to somewhere like Wolves or Leicester, and he's pretty much just gone for the money.
Yeah. Do you know how much he's getting paid? I don't. Do you?
I don't know. I think it's probably somewhat ridiculous, but yeah, and he's still only 26 as well. He could have done bits for a Premier League side, but
Yeah, and I think you said it then. West Brom's best player last season by an absolute mile, creative-wise, he is ridiculous. And to see him go to another club that's not very competitive, like you said, I just think it's a bit of a letdown, really. I think I'm just trying to think of the clubs. Like even Southampton's a great move for him, and they're still in the Prem, so I'm not too sure what his thinking was there. Maybe it might have been money driven, but we'll see how he goes over on there. We'll go to Southampton now, actually, though. And Adam Armstrong, of course, former Newcastle, currently Blackburn striker, moved to Southampton on a £15 million deal off the Ings 30 million. It's a great replacement, isn't it? Considering he got tons of goals for Blackburn last season, and he's slowly but surely been coming up the ranks, especially with Northampton Town as well.
Yeah, as you said, it's a very, very good replacement. Still 24, still quite young. Some people said he was a bit of a pen merchant in the Championship, but yeah, as the season went on, he kept bagging and bagging. I think he got voted Players Player of the Season in the Championship last season, which is a very good achievement. And I just hope he turns out like Watkins and just gets into the Premier League really well. And yeah, I just hope he doesn't start against us on Saturday though.
Yeah, he is a great finisher, and we'll have to see what he does at Southampton. But I'm excited to see how well he does in the Premier League, because of course we saw him at 1 or 2 games in Newcastle, but he was very, very young, so you couldn't really see how good he actually was. But yeah, hopefully Southampton, and he's also sort of a pressing forward. I know he can, so he'll suit Ralph Hasenhüttl's play to precision. I think he will. So it's great to see him going over there. We'll go over to another striker / winger, Josh Sargent. The Americans agreed a deal of £8 million to go from Werder Bremen to Norwich. I mean, it's a great deal for him. He's been knocking on a lot of doors, let's just say, in the Bundesliga, and to see him go over to this move to Norwich, it's good to see.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's another deal that not many people thought would happen, especially with Norwich currently having Timu Pukki and Adam Ida in that is same position. So it'll definitely improve their competition in that position. And he's still a very good young striker who can always develop, and hopefully he can do well.
Yeah, you can notice the Americans are slowly starting to get better. And to say that they're going to go and win the World Cup, like I see some American fans are saying, I think that's a bit of a stretch at it.
Yeah.
They've got some very, very good talent, and Josh Sargent's another one of them. And did Werder Bremen get relegated? They were very close to relegation last season, I think.
Yeah. I don't think they got relegated, but yeah, as you said, they were very close, and obviously Norwich have just came in and took 2 of their best players in Mila Rashica as well as Josh Sargent. So yeah, just have to see how they do.
He's a great signing, the Kosovo man, isn't it?
Yeah.
So of course
great
they know
replacement
each other
for Buendia.
Yeah, exactly. They know each other very, very well, and we can see Rashica can play centrally as well as a central attacking midfielder and on the wing. So the link up between them, because they know each other so well, that'll be another thing to watch in the Premier League, definitely. Or Rashica with Pukki, because Pukki, we know what he's been like, not the season before last, scoring a great deal of goals. So you'll have to see how well he does. We'll go on to Arthur Gomez now, who's gone from Santos to Burnley for 2.5 million. It was very close, actually. Sorry, it's not been agreed yet, but it seems to be happening. And unlike Sean Dyche move, it's not a so-called Brexit FC, as everyone would say, is it?
Yeah, I think it's just a very weird transfer. I'm not sure how he'll do. Obviously, he's still very young. Coming from the Brazilian league, I think we see quite a few players coming from the Brazilian league and doing well in the higher leagues, but we'll just have to see how he does. I'm not sure he'll suit the Sean Dyche style of play, though.
Yeah, I don't know how tall he is. I think I might search him up now, because I don't think if he's over 6'1", then he might not get into the squad, even though he's an attacker. Let's all look now. 1.75 meters. How much?
It's like 5'8".
5'7".
Yeah.
Well, that is very unlike Sean Dyche. Maybe he could play on the wing, but yeah, to see him be in the team, yeah, it'll be something good to see, definitely. We'll go on to the man, just as you can see right at the bottom there, the centre back who's come from Atalanta. I nearly forgot then. Confirmed, Christian Romero. I believe it's in the region of 50, 60 million, which is quite a lot for Spurs, definitely. But this centre back just shows how Nuno Espirito Santo wanted to do in playing a back three, and you can see he's wanting to develop the three at the back at Spurs here, can't you?
Yeah, definitely. I think, obviously, as you said, he's a very young centre back, quite quick as well. And obviously, with losing Alderweireld and Vertonghen, they're very lacking on centre backs at the moment. And obviously, Davinson Sanchez didn't have the best season last season, and yeah, I think it's a very good signing for them. They might have overpaid a bit, seeing as I think he's only been at the top level for only a couple of seasons. So we'll just have to see how he does, but I think it will be quite a good signing.
Yeah, of course, one in the Copa America as well, alongside Messi. So he's added that to his CV, which is good for Spurs fans to hear. I think if Nuno does choose to play back three, because towards the end of in managing Wolves, he did go into a back four to play more attacking style of play. So if he does go and play in this back three, I think he could do very well. Is he left-footed? Because I just off the top of my head,
I think so, because he's always played like the left side of centre back. So I'd imagine so.
Yeah, so like you said, you presume so. So a great left-footed player for a left centre back on the back end of a back three is good to see, and Nuno I think likes that. Saw it with Sight as well at Wolves. So with him, Rodon, and Eric Dyer or Davinson Sanchez, it's good. But if you think about when they're playing in the Conference League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, not all of those centre backs are going to be playing, so they're going to have to find other players to get in, and maybe Japhet Tanganga can play in there as well. We've seen him play at centre back a couple of times as well as full back, so he could do a job there. But then you're still one short, really.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be hard. I can imagine if they were playing three at the back that they might bring in another centre back. But as you said, with like money at the moment with FFP, it's been relaxed a bit. But Tottenham, I don't really see them spending that much on a centre back. But they have got a pretty good youth system as well. Japhet Tanganga is coming from there, so they might bring one in from there. But you never know.
Yep, you never know. We'll go on to the matches that took place this week. We'll start off with the game yesterday, the Super Cup 2021, which was between Chelsea and Villereal. Chelsea won 6-5 on penalties. The winning penalty saved by Kepa Arrizabalaga. What did you think of the game as an overall? I always say this, Alex, just because Chelsea seemed to dominate the play a lot more than Villarreal did. And was it a deserved win in the end?
I wouldn't say it was deserved. Villarreal defended very well at some points, and then obviously as the game kept progressing, they just had to defend even more. And then I think they did very well to get back in the game. And then obviously extra time is always going to be difficult for you if you're just defending. But they managed to push that through, and sadly couldn't get revenge for the what? No, they didn't get as much fortune in the penalty shootout as they did in the Europa League final. But I think it's just a credit to them for being there at the moment.
Yeah, I was probably wrong in saying Chelsea probably deserved to win the game, maybe, because second half, Villarreal, I think, probably had the better second half chances overall, hitting the post with Gerard Moreno and numerous amounts of chances just in the Chelsea penalty box. Moreno, just before half time, had a volley that probably should have gone in, but he just blasted it too hard, it seemed. And it hit the crossbar and just went just before the line. So yeah, Chelsea got lucky with that. But then Chelsea had some very good chances as well that they should have probably put away. But the one that they did, Hakim Ziyech, unfortunately, he went off the pitch. I think it's a collarbone injury, isn't it, or a shoulder injury?
Yeah.
So that doesn't look too good for Chelsea. But they've got other class with Kai Havertz, of course, who can play a similar role. But that goal was brilliant because it summed up really Tuchel's style of play, getting it down the wing, exposing the back three really of Villarreal and slotting it in. And the fake from Werner was, I think it was Werner, wasn't it? It was really good because it just took away another man. And Ziyech, first time, it was a pretty good finish from him. So that was a great first goal by Chelsea. And then Gerard Moreno's got the little back heel from, was it Esteban or Estepaniano? It might have been number 12. Or maybe the striker.
Chelsea?
No, for Villereal.
Oh, yeah.
Or Esteban.
I think it was Esteban.
Yeah, that was a great 1-2 with Gerard Moreno, and then the roar from the Villarreal fans when they scored that goal.
Yeah,
absolutely insane. I had to rewatch it about 3 times. It was so bad because we're not had fans in the stadium for ages. But yeah, it was a great game, and then of course went to penalties. Extra time didn't really show, I don't think, a great deal, did it? From both sides. But yeah, penalties shown, and Tuchel, it shows how much he believes in his staff, because with the analytics guys he named him as, and the data team that he's got behind him at Chelsea, I don't know if you heard this, Alex, but he chose to bring Kepa on because they said to him he's most likely to do better than Mendy and other goalkeepers in the Chelsea squad. So to have that analytics, that we talk about margins, that's a massive margin to bring Kepa on. Because everyone was like, this is the weirdest move possibly of the season. And the season not even started yet, really. But we've never really seen anything like it, especially with 1 minute to go or something. You just wouldn't think it. And for him to get his first touch as a save, you don't really get that all the time. But with the analytics, it's crazy to see how the game's going. But it makes it more professionally, and it just shows how vital and how good Tuchel is with substitutes.
Yeah, as you said, like, you're not, like, as football's developing, you just gonna keep getting more analytics, and it's just gonna become even more technical. And as you said, like, Tuchel's just a prime example of that.
Yeah, and it's getting the best out of your players as well. I know that a lot of the top managers like to do that. And with Kepa, we've not seen the best of him, put him that way.
No.
But certainly yesterday, proved his worth somewhat, you could say.
Yeah.
Move on to the Community Shield now, won by Leicester City against Manchester City. 1-0 in the end. It came very, very close, but Nathan Ake decided to foul Iheanacho. I think it was Iheanacho in the end. He got the penalty. Iheanacho struck it very hard, and it was saved by Ederson, but it managed to go into the back of the net because there was so much power on it. Oh yeah, it was Stefan, wasn't it? Oh, sorry, yeah, it's Stefan, yeah. But to be fair, it was a good save, but yeah, the power was just too much on it. And it wasn't the best City squad, of course, playing Cole Palmer and the left winger, number 61. I forgot his name now.
Was it like I don't know. I think it began with an E.
No.
I don't know.
Number 61 for City, who plays on the left wing. He came up. He started with Cole Palmer, and like I said before, Nathan Ake started for the first time in a while for City. And I wouldn't say they didn't look the same, but they didn't take the chances, you could say, because they dominated the ball quite clear and obvious, really. Leicester had a couple of chances, one before half-time. Great save by Stefan from Vardy. But you could see City lacked a striker in that game, couldn't you?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's always going to be harder for City when they're obviously playing some younger players. Obviously, they don't have as much experience in these high-end games. And I think Leicester took full advantage of that. They let City have the ball for the majority of the game and just counter-attack them. And I don't think... I wouldn't say neither team took it seriously, but I could see that they just wanted to give some of their players one last run out. And I think that's ultimately what let City down. Like, I'm pretty sure if they'd started their first team, they would have probably won it comfortably. But yeah, I mean, it's also a great result for Leicester going into the new season.
Yeah, and Grealish, of course, made his debut in the game as well, coming on.
Didn't really show much, though.
No, he got the ball quite a lot, though, and he was passing. And of course, with Villa, he's the main man, really, and they get him to drive forward. So it was interesting to see how he would link up passing-wise.
Yeah.
Because people say the hogger of the ball, but in the City team, I mean, he every time he really passed it. I think maximum 4 touches and just passed it.
Yeah.
Which is Pep's way sort of. So yeah, he's sort of moulding and fitting into that team, which is good to see for City fans. But yeah, Leicester go and win the Community Shield. I think it was the first time since the 60s that City and Leicester played at the Wembley, so it was a long time. But yeah, Leicester were the victors on the day. We'll move on to the North and South Carabao Cup draw that took place this week. Alex, I saw some big ones that were announced, you being in it. Of course, the top 8 of the top 7, top 8 of the Premier League teams won't be in it because they're playing European football, so they get to go into the round 3. Just looking at the main big games, you could say Newcastle United versus Burnley. What are we thinking of that game? Good game.
I think it'll be quite a good game. They're both quite defensive sides, but normally in this sort of match, I think Newcastle will probably become the victors in that one. But I notice you don't normally see Arsenal in the second round of the Carabao Cup, which is a weird one.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people say that, which is quite interesting to see.
But I think Watford Palace will be a good game.
Yeah, of course. 2 Lancashire derbies. I'm just looking at the North ones there with Oldham Athletic versus Accrington Stanley and Wigan Athletic versus Bolton.
That'll be a cracker, that will.
Yeah, it will be. Sheffield United Derby County, another fairly big game. Stoke are playing Doncaster. Nottingham Forest versus Wolves. Of course, Forest will be testing their luck against Bruno Lage.
I think this is Barrow's. I think it's one of their first times in the second round of the Carabao Cup. Because obviously last season they got knocked out first round and they haven't really been in it before.
Yeah.
So
it's an obvious win for Villa, really, isn't it? You expect you never know what could happen. Leeds United versus...
You don't really hear the magic of the Carabao Cup, though, do you? I think
no, not really.
More of a straightforward competition.
Yeah, unfortunately, but yeah, straightforward. Yeah, Leeds United versus Crewe, another big game. Of course, the Crewe fans will all be going over to Ellen Road. I'll try and see if I can go there. I'll be interested.
Swansea, Plymouth.
Yep, that'll be. Well, we're on the south ones now. Yes, we are. Swansea, yeah, Plymouth. That'll be a good game to see. Newport County, Southampton, Watford versus Palace, the Premier League ones. West Brom versus Arsenal, Cardiff City versus Brighton, Birmingham, Fulham. All of these sort of like fairly big games. Brentford are probably expected to win against Forest Green Rovers. But Norwich City, Bournemouth, of course, former Premier League side. So there are the odd good games in there to see. Considering it's only round 2, there's a lot of decent teams in there. And I think it helps with the Premier League as well, because I think in other years, wasn't it? No, I could be wrong here. From round 2, I don't know if other Premier League teams played in round 2. I thought it was round 3, but I might just be thinking of the FA Cup here.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we've always been in round 2. Because it's like 50-50 whether we get in Europa League or not. But obviously now, even if we finish 7th, we don't even get Europa League. So it's a bit of a bummer.
We'll go on to the next piece of news, which is the kits. And Alex, I was going through the kits before, and I was thinking, what order should I put them in? So I thought, because it's me and you today, we'll put the United and Everton ones on. So we'll start off with United, because they are sort of the first here. There, I'm pointing in the wrong direction. There, no, there, right there. So yeah, United, of course, Sancho and Rashford styling the new third kit. First thoughts, I actually really like it. I know blue and United doesn't really go together because of City, but this dark blue, I think it's really nice. You can sort of see, when Messi had his he still does, to be fair, his own logo for Adidas. And it sort of looks like that on the kit with the things going down and that arrow.
I had his boots. It's a bit mad.
Did you have the 450s or?
I don't know what they were. They're the Messi ones. I don't know.
The blue and purple ones with the Adidas logo. Yeah, they were nice. I think the yellow goes really nice. I never thought a yellow would go nice, especially, but it goes nice with the badge, I think, and the team viewer. And it's good to see they're changing up the Adidas logo a bit. I've seen them do it with the Arsenal logo as well, with the Adidas. Yellow writing.
Yeah, blue on the top.
Yeah, blue on the top.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, they're changing it up a bit. But yeah, Adidas, another great kit to see. We'll go over to Hummel now, though, and Everton. Calvert-Lewin and Ben Godfrey styling the kits. What do you think of it? I like it.
Yeah, when it first came out, I was a bit iffy about it, but I've seen them playing it a bit now, and I kind of like it quite a bit more. I really like white kits. White and black kits really go really well for me. And yeah, I kind of like it a bit more when it's on a bit more of a muscly body type. I don't think it looks as good on Calvert-Lewin as it does on Ben Godfrey. But yeah, I think we never really have this sort of weird design on a away shirt, or third kit. So it's a bit of breathes a fresher breath of fresh air.
Yeah,
That's
and I
what I'm
think
saying.
the yellow goes really nice as well. I think I
Yeah.
don't know why it just goes really nice with the rest of the kit. So yeah, it's good seeing that. And then the little, I don't know, they're not really.
I'm glad we have
straps.
black shorts though, because I don't think it would have gone very well with the white shorts. So
Yeah, and does Hummel on the shorts in yellow? Can I see with Ben Godfrey? Can I
yeah,
see that?
yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah.
looks quite nice as well. I was actually going to send you a video when United played Everton in the pre-season friendly. Mason Holgate got subbed on, didn't he? And I was going to go Jeff
Oh
Bozo.
yeah.
I was going to send you over that, but I
Who's Chef
decided not
Bozo?
to. That's so
Is
funny.
he on Microsoft?
That everybody was saying, thank God he's a footballer. But yeah, no, he's a great lad. We'll go over to the other kits now. Leicester City and Manchester City. Start off with the Citizens. What do you think of it, Alex? Of course, they've already played one game in the Carabao Cup with it. Oh, I'm switching over. They've already played one game with it in not a Carabao Cup, the Community Shield, and it looked pretty nice then. And I hate to say it looks nice, but it sort of does go well with all the different colours.
Yeah, I mean, City don't often do nice kits that well, but I think they've. I was watching a Mark Goldbridge video on ranking them, and I think he's got it spot on. They've got the perfect mix of not flashy and flashy, so they haven't put much design into it, but they put enough design to make it a really nice kit. And I'd honestly prefer it if I had white shorts. I know when they were playing against Leicester in the Community Shield, I didn't really like the darker shorts, but yeah, I mean, as a football shirt, it's very, very nice.
Yeah, and I think it's weird to see because it's just plain white, but then it's the whole logo and
The gradient.
The gradient. We've not really seen that a great deal with football kits, and
No,
tell you what, it looks
very hard to pull off.
there. Yeah, definitely. And moving on to another kit that I think looks pretty good, the Leicester City third kit, I believe, or is it the away? I think it's the third kit. What are your first thoughts on it? I think it looks sort of like a training top, but I can see it does look quite nice as a kit. What do you think?
I think, as well as that other shirts, the only thing that really lets it down is the sponsor. Like, if they'd been allowed to like make it pink or something, like the badge and the Adidas logo, I think it would have been much nicer. Or even with the what was the stadium called?
King Power.
Oh yeah, the King Power one. I think it would have looked better with that. But yeah, overall it's a very, very nice kit. Nice colours as well.
Yeah, I think the black down the sides as well goes nice on the collar as well.
Yeah.
And I think with Saigon and, like you said, FBS before, United and we've seen with City, all different teams have been allowed to change the colour of the sponsor to fit in with the kit. So with FBS, I don't know why they've not really. Maybe Leicester haven't asked, but if they haven't, they've said no. I don't see why not, because it just goes with the rest of the kit. And I think the white just lets it down a bit in a way. But yeah, it is a good kit. We'll move on to fantasy football now. Alex, would you like to explain what's happened? We've sort of got, well, not really a sponsor, but you've managed to do something with your Everton account, the Blues Innocent by them.
Yeah, so we've come together with Mystery Sport. They sell mystery football shirts, like mystery packages, and we've created a fantasy football league one. You can join now if you want, if you're seeing the code. Do you want me to read it out for the people listening?
Yep, top right as well. Oh yeah, and the people listening.
So yeah, the code is WMKN36, and you can join on fantasy football, and then whoever tops the league will get a free mystery football shirt from yours truly, JDA Football, and yeah.
Yeah, I think we should do a mystery sport sort of. Do they do like mystery kits where? Like,
yeah, just pull them out of the box and should do a video.
I think we should do a video. You know, I say we all order it and go to someone's house and open it at the same time and do a video, because yeah, if we can get it off them, especially with your brand deal as well that you've sort of got going on there, I think it would be great to see, and the content would be good. And it would be good for them as well.
Yeah.
So we'll see what we can do with that. But yeah, the code's there, WMKN36, just to repeat again, that's the FPL. Now, I don't know about if you want to show your team, Alex, you don't have to. I'm going to show my team though. And yeah, I'll just get it up for everyone now. It's sort of a grand reveal, isn't it? What are your thoughts on fantasy this season, Alex? Are you scared about it?
I don't know. I'm not as confident as last season. Obviously, last season there was a bit more standard picks, but yeah.
Now, this is my team. Can you full screen? Don't know if that helps any better.
I feel like the start of the season, everyone's team's going to be similar-ish.
Yeah. So I don't know if yours is the same as mine. It could not be. I've gone with Brighton Sanchez because in the last 8 games of last season, I kept the most points or the best amount of points in fantasy. So I've gone with him. Ayling, James and Shaw. James and Shaw because they're not as much as Trent, but I think they'll still get assists. I know some people swapping between James and Chilwell. Mason Mount, I think not many people have got him. A decent amount of people have got him, but not a ton that I would have expected. I've got him because I think he'll be one of the creative sparks with Kai Havertz and Werner. So I've put him in. Salah, I mean, I think you have to have him. I know a lot of people have gone for Mane, but the first couple of games they've got is unreal to not have Salah as one of your captain. So I've got him. Jota, I think a lot of people are sleeping on him, considering how well he did last season, especially in the Champions League as well. But that, of course, it doesn't count. Jota, I've gone with him. Fernandes, Bruno, he's just did what he did last season, so everyone expects a lot from him. I've gone with Ivan Toney, Ings, and Antonio up front. I was debating on whether to put Antonio in, but I have gone with him in the end. There's been a lot of swapping and changing. I've not put Wilson. I know a couple of people have put him in, but I've gone with Antonio. I think they've got the better fixtures and they'll do better than Newcastle. Ivan Toney played 45 games for Brentford last season, scoring 33 goals in the Championship. If you've not got him in your team, you might struggle, you never know. But yeah, Premier League's different to Championship, as we said before. And then Danny Ings up front. I did have Ollie Watkins, but I swapped him out for Ings because Ings will be starting this weekend, it seems to be, with Watkins picking up a bit of an injury. So yeah, I've gone with Ings. And yeah, it's great to see it getting underway. But I swapped sort of Jota out for Buendia because I thought Villa were going to do quite well. But then I forgot about Jota and then decided some of the majority of people were picking him. So yeah. I've not got him. Jason, no Tomiskas, an L. Now, is it true that Robertson's not going to be starting?
Yeah, he got injured, didn't he?
Because on the fantasy thing, either I'm blind or I've not seen it. Let me see if I can have a quick look now.
Yeah, he's red.
He's red.
Yeah, now he is.
How does it say how long he's out for?
I think it just says.
Oh, there he is. Back 12th of September. Now, that's quite a lot of game weeks, isn't it?
Yeah.
How much is he, Alex?
7.
He's Tomiskas, sorry.
Oh, he's 4. Tsimikas is 4 mil.
Oh my god, I'm getting him now. Manquillo, get out.
I've got him in my starting team, Jason. Don't worry.
Select replacement. Can I go down there? It's 1 of 6.
If you're listening, we're just figuring out fantasy football at the moment.
Yeah, I'm basically upgrading my team because Jason's told me. I don't know why he said that. He should have just left me. Can I find him? There he is. Add player. Right, so he's added to the team. Thank you, Jason. Is he still? I don't know if he's still in or he's left, but cheers anyway. You've got him as well, haven't you, Alex?
Yes.
Yeah, and I don't think I went through my subs either. Ben Foster, Cycling GK. He's one of the 4 mils. You have to go for him, surely. Daniel Amati. I think he might be starting for Leicester. Depends on him and Johnny Evans because of Soyuncu, of course, is going to be starting. So I've gone with him, and he also played in the Community Shield as well. I've gone with Rafinha just purely because of what he did last season. I know you've gone with Bamford as well. And who is the other player that I've got? think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it.
I've just made 2 transfers. I don't know. I've took out Ruben Dias because I think with the squad rotation, it won't be as effective to bring in a City defender this season. Yeah. So I'll put in Lewis Dunk because they have a good set of games.
I have just thought, if you would want to send me over your team, I could put it up on here. But it's up to you if you want to share your secrets with everyone. It's up to you.
On Snapchat or?
Yeah, send it over and then I'll just quickly drop it.
Jason, if you're still here, message Dan your team.
Well, so I can just copy it. He says everyone will have him in game week 1. Yeah, all right. Now I will.
Until he gets injured.
Yeah, so I'm going to change him over now. Can I change him over? Is it not updated?
Or have I got Jason's team? He's probably changed it a bit, but he sent it me once, I think.
Hopefully it loads up with Tsimikas in the team. Yeah. No, it hasn't.
No, it hasn't.
Right. For some reason, Mankio's still on the team. Alex has just sent me over now. Cheers. Right. I'll get that over now. What do you think of the team? Because yours, of course, is going to be different to mine.
I think, I don't know. I've seen a lot of fantasy teams and I keep making changes and I always go, oh, your team's better than mine. And then when I look at a different one, I'll say, your team's better than mine and all that. And I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't really say who's better than who's at the moment.
Yeah. Let me just... 1 second. Stop that. Give me like 8 minutes. All right, okay. We'll see if we're still on there. I think we'll be doing predictions then, but yeah. We might.
I want to send you predictions as well.
All right, here's Alex's team. So in net, if you can see it, Sanchez and Gunn. Alex, I'll let you read out. It's your team. You go for it.
I'll read it on my phone.
Yeah, it's a bit easier to see. I've just clocked it.
So in net, I've currently got Sanchez and Gunn. I think Brighton defender with their fixtures is really needed, which is why I've gone with 2. I've got Lewis Dunk, then I've got Trent Alexander-Arnold, Luke Shaw, who I think is a necessity as well. I've got Aaron Cresswell, who I thought did very well for me last season, so I thought, why not? Then Tsimikas is a bit of a differential. I've gone Basuma just because he's 4.5 mil. Jack Harrison over Rafinha. Salah and Fernandes, I think they're basic picks now. And then I think he's a bit of a differential. Mbuemo from Brighton. And then, obviously, 3 strikers. I've got Dane Scarlett because he's 4.5 mil. Danny Ings, I think he'll do very well. And Patrick Bamford. So,
I'll tell you what, that's a good team. I was going to choose Kufal.
Yeah.
But Cresswell has got 17% of people were selecting him, so I did think whether to put him in or not, but I haven't in the end. How come you've put so much on Trent, may I just ask?
What?
Do you think you need him in your team? Do you think you need him in your team? That's what I'm trying to
Trent?
out, sorry. Yeah.
Because
I've seen quite a lot of people. I've not got him in my team.
Yeah. I just feel like I think Liverpool's defence is quite underrated on fantasy, and obviously as well as getting the clean sheets, they haven't really got it last season. But with VVD back and Konate in as well in the defence, I think they'll just be a lot more solid. Get the 6 points clean sheets easy, and then maybe even pop a goal and assist here and there more than most of the defenders. So that's why I've really gone for him.
Yeah, I think Basuma's one to watch out for as well. Good player. Yeah. Mbembo, I can't say his name. Is it Mbuemo? Mbuemo, there we go. All right, I got the pronunciation right.
He's only got 1.1 selected, but he's absolute quality.
Yeah, he'll start every game for Brentford along with Tony, I presume, and Sergio Aguero. So you think one of those front 3 is going to be bagging in all of the goals, if not sharing it across all 3 positions. But with Mbuemo, I mean, his stats last year were great with Tony's as well.
Yeah, I think he got 9 goals and 11 assists, which is up there with Buendia.
for a winger as well.
Yeah.
You can't really complain. But Bamford, Ings, and Scarlett up front. Scarlett will obviously be on your bench. Ings, I think most people have got him. Bamford, I think we spoke about it before we came on. You just think Leeds are going to be bagging in the goals this season, do you think?
Yeah, I think I was debating on whether to take him out for this week, because obviously United are one of the best defences in the league. I can't really see him scoring or maybe getting assists. I don't know, but for the other games that he does have, I can see him bagging a few against us, especially. Like, he's got us then Burnley, so I think he'll get a few, and then I don't need to waste a transfer on a striker. So
yeah, definitely. I think the mistakes that I've done in past years is put every single penny virtually that is possible into the first 11.
Yeah.
But when it comes to it, you can't play it like that. You have to have the better subs as well that will come on and be, like you said, some differentials in there as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've changed it up this year, and I can see a lot of people are choosing sort of the same players. But then, like Mbeumo compared to who did I have? I think Rafinha as well with Harrison. It's different. Bamford with Ivan Toney. So it's all different across the board. We'll quickly switch over to Jason's now. I know he's sent his in more reviewers now. I'll just get it up quickly. No, that's yours, I think. No, that's yours. All right. 1 second. All right. Now this is Jason's team. So in net we've got Sanchez, Shaw, Trent, Dean in the team. No, we've not. Both of us haven't got him. Tomishkas as well.
I just refuse to put Everton players in them.
I don't have a great United players in my team either, to be fair. And I don't know how many people have chose Sancho. I think a couple of the people have chosen, but
yeah,
until they see him play, I don't think they're going to take the risk.
Bit of a risk in it.
Yeah, exactly. I don't blame them, to be fair. Salah, of course, captain like me. Bruno, is Salah your captain?
I haven't chosen it, but I think it has to be done it.
Yeah, against Norwich as well. Rafinha, Grealish, she's gone for Toney and Ings. So
I'm a bit iffy on Grealish, I'll be honest.
This is Pep Roulette. This is the big thing. Whether
I just took Diaz out because they've got Laporte, Stones, and Ake, who I think will at least play some other games. So I'm just not sure anymore.
I know, yeah. It's just, and it's put me off last year as well with some of the City players, especially in midfielders. The Pep Roulette is just like, I don't know if I'll even get a point with Gundogan one game. And I know he scored about 12, 13 goals last season. But even then I was like, do I put him in, do or not? And I think the game against Spurs, which he excelled in, I didn't think I put him in that game, and I didn't get the points off the bench. So yeah, I took the risk of that one, putting him on the bench. But yeah, I didn't get the points. I've sort of gone with that midfield different to him. We've not actually looked at subs yet. Grealish Mount I've put instead of Grealish. I was debating, but yeah, like I said, Pep Roulette. What's he put in? Jason's put Pep Roulette scares me, but I just want Grealish in. Fair enough. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see who the assists really come for. Like, I know they're shared across the board the majority of the time with City, but whether Grealish will take what's into his own hands and get the most assists for City, then you've hit the nail on the head, really, Jason, if you do keep him in your team. Let me just look at the rest of the team. So we've got Ben Foster, same as me, Cycling GK, well in. 8 Nuri, of course, permanent signing from Angers. That's probably not how you say it, the French team, though.
Angers.
Oh, very nice, Alex. Obafemi, I was going to choose him. I don't know if he's... No, I think I chose him, but then I've swapped him out because he's very high selected. And then Leon Bailey. Of course, I think everyone's underestimating him as well. I know a lot of people have got Ings, but nobody's put him in as well. Would you be thinking to put him in?
I had Buendia in, I'm going to be honest, but obviously he's not playing first 2 or 3 game weeks. And I think when Buendia does come in, I think he'll just be the main focal point for Danny Ings, and they'll just bag a load. Yeah,
definitely. So anything about Jason's team that you like or don't like? I know you said about Grealish before, but anything else?
I don't know. I like his defence. It looks very strong, obviously. It's kind of the basic one at the moment. Luke Shaw and Alexander-Arnold are basically essentials, and then Tsimikas, I think he'll be like 90% chosen soon, and then Digne is only 5.5 mil, so I think that's a good thing. And then it's just a really strong team, to be honest. I haven't really seen a team as strong as that. Whether they'll perform or not is a different question, but yeah.
The thing is that as well, Aït-Nouri could be starting with Bruno Lage as the manager as well. I know he started under Nuno as well, so that's even scary to think that at least two of his players are probably going to get a first team game time football as well. So it's a hell of a team. Fair play to you. I think we're going to move on to the score predictions now. Let's see, but Aït-Nouri is supposed to be starting at like or something. So yeah, I think we'll start. Buendia got injured, so I swapped him out for Bailey. Fair enough. So all three of us had Buendia, but I think he was fairly highly selected. But then, of course, his injury. I think it's only for 1 week though, isn't it, with his hip injury?
Yeah.
He could be making a return, and then when Tsimikas comes out as well, with Robertson coming back in, who do you reckon people swap out to? Will it? Because the 4 million.
I think it depends on how Liverpool's defence are doing at the moment. Because like if they get 3 or 4 clean sheets and then Robertson comes back, they'll probably bring Robertson in. But
yeah. Right, so we'll go over to the score predictions now, and game week 1 of the 21-22 season of the Premier League. Alex, I was asking for your predictions, but if you could just say, who do you think will win the Premier League this season?
I'm gonna go City.
Really, yeah. I think it'll be close, Chelsea or City, but it'll just be. I'm trying to think. You know what? I'm going to go for Chelsea. I think City are good, but I think again they'll try and focus on the
Champions League.
Try and focus on the Champions League. Sorry, yeah, instead of the Premier League. And I think Chelsea, now they've won the Champions League, they want to retain it, of course, but I think they'll have more fight to get the Premier League more this season. I don't know why, but I think Tuchel will. So yeah, that's why I think. Jason, just quickly going from the fantasy, I also fancy Bailey to be better on FPL. He's more of an out-and-out attacker than Buendia, so he'll probably get more game time. He probably will, to be fair, but I don't know. I think you're probably right with out-and-out attacker getting more goals and assists. But yeah, like with Grealish, Buendia probably won't bring the ball forward as much, so he might rely on the wings with Bailey. So yeah, you've got a point. City win the league, no two ways about it.
What's going to happen about Traore though? We had a belter this season last season.
Yeah, well, Bailey, you presume, will play on the left. So on the right, maybe Traore can play.
But then Watkins.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's going to be hard to keep Ings and Watkins happy, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Chelsea have a chance. I'm still in the debate at the moment in my head, but yeah, it's going to be hard to see. Probably City will win it, yeah. We'll go through the fantasy predictions now. We'll start off with the Friday game. 8 o'clock kickoff. Coverage starts at 6:30. This is BST time, by the way. First game of the season: Brentford versus Arsenal. Now, Alex, how do you want to go? In what way do you want to go? Score predictions wise, because I've got Joe's there as well. Let me just say.
Well, should we go me, you, Joe?
Yeah, let's do
that. So I'm writing them down.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So whenever you're ready, go for it.
So I'm going to go 3-1 to Arsenal against Brentford.
Ooh.
I think Brentford will just be like a bit shaky.
Arsenal, when they seem to have the Friday fixtures of the opening games, I think it was Leicester a couple of seasons back, and they had a couple of others. They seem to score a lot of goals, and I think 3 will be in the equation. Will I do? No, actually, screw that all. I'm going to go for a 2-2.
2-2?
2-2. Yeah, I think it'll be a great game to start off the season.
And Joe?
Joe has gone for 1-0 to Arsenal.
Oh.
So another Arsenal win there with you and Joe. The next game, Manchester United versus Leeds United. The Roses rivalry continues yet again, this time at Old Trafford. The early kickoff 12:30 though. What is your score prediction, Alex?
I'm going to go 1-0 to Manchester United.
See, I don't think this will be as an open game as we saw at the 6-2. I said it before in the podcast. I think Leeds have tightened up the defence. Bielsa knows when to press and when to not press. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 Manchester United win. Depending on whether Varane starts, maybe we could keep a clean sheet. But yeah, I'm going to go 2-1. Jason's also in his score predictions, so I don't know if I want to do a guess one and include him.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you want to do that? Would you be able to add it? Because
Yeah.
We'll put guest in.
Okay.
Do you want to say Joe's now or
say Jason's Brentford one?
Jason's Brentford one is 2-0 Arsenal.
2-0 Arsenal.
Yep.
It's strange how we've all gone near no Brentford to win. So
yeah,
bit of a weird one.
Then he's gone 3-1 United. Jason has.
And what's Joseph Neal on?
2-1 to United, same as me.
So next we've got
Brighton versus
Burnley.
Burnley being the home team. Sorry. 3 o'clock kickoff, Turf Moor. Who are you going for, Alex?
I'm gonna go 2-0 to Brighton.
Ooh. I think I'll go the same as you, actually. I'm just looking at Burnley's team, and I think Brighton have strengthened in the areas that they needed to. And with Burnley not really signing anybody that dramatic and great, I think, Brighton a 2-0 win. Joe's gone for... Do you want to go Joe or Jason?
Joe.
We'll go for a 1-1 he's going for. I can sort of see it being a 1-1 fixture, but yeah, I just think Brighton are a bit better.
And Jason?
He's gone for 1-1 as well.
Ooh.
First match.
Okay, so Chelsea Palace.
Stamford Bridge. What are you saying?
I think it's either going to be a demolishing from Chelsea or a cheeky 1-0, 2-1. And I'm going to go for... I'm going to go 2-0 to Chelsea.
Patrick Vieira, of course, taking over at Crystal Palace. I like to see the philosophy that he plays. I think I was going to go for a 2-1 as well, but with the way that Palace might set up, I think it could be very hard to underestimate them. But I think Chelsea will win 1-0. I don't think they'll score 2, but I think they'll win 1-0. Joe's gone for 2-1 to Chelsea.
And then Jason.
Jason has gone for 2-1. Wait, no. Am I looking at 2-0 to Chelsea?
Yes. So next is Everton versus Southampton. I'm gonna go 1-1.
I think Southampton might get relegated this season. Just putting it out there, I think the loss of Ings will be quite bad for them. And I don't know if they've really spent amazingly that well. I know they've brought the French guy, I can't pronounce his name, and Armstrong of Wales. He's a defender.
Yeah, the left back.
Yeah, so they've got signings in, but whether the Premier League quality, we'll have to see. But I think they might actually get relegated this season. And I watched Everton the other week in the pre-season friendly at United, and they did lose 4-0, but you could see which way Rafa wants them to play.
If we had a striker, then we could have scored quite a few more. There were some chances that were absolutely shocking misses. So yeah, I'm not too. Did you see John Joe Kenny? Didn't even kick the ball.
Yeah. I saw him pick up the ball once, and I was like,
yeah.
John Joe Kenny's on the pitch. I've not seen him because I saw James Coleman a lot in the first half down that right hand side.
Damari Gray is a baller, by the way.
Yeah, he came on, didn't he? Yeah, I remember his performance. I'm going to go 2-0 Everton, though. I don't think Southampton will score. Alex. what I'm saying, Alex. Joe's gone. Joe and Jason have gone 1-0 Everton. Another match between them two. The next game is Leicester against Wolves in a Midlands derby at the King Power Stadium. Score prediction, Alex?
Might go a 0-0.
See, I'd like to see how Bruno Lage will play. Apparently, he's meant to have a very attacking style of football, which is completely the contrasting way that Nuno played. So I'd like to see the philosophy he plays. Benfica meant to play attacking football, very good attacking football. So it'll be good to see how he approaches this Leicester game because we know what Leicester like attacking. Sorry, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 1-1. I don't think both teams are gonna go full throttle and go full for it. So yeah, I'm gonna go 1-1. Joe's gone 2-1 Leicester. Jason's gone 2-1 Leicester. That's the third copy. I know Jason's just said a minute or so ago, Joe needs to stop copying me. So, yeah. It's weird how both of them got the same scores 3 times. We'll see if they can do it a bit more. Oh my God, they have as well.
Watford Villa.
Watford Villa. What's your score prediction, Alex?
I might go 1-0 to Watford Football Club.
Ooh. 1-0. Ooh, against the strong Aston Villa side we're talking about here with no Bundy and Watkins. Away at Vicarage Road, 3 o'clock kickoff. I think Villa will comfortably win this one 2-0. Joe said, and Jason said, for a 4th time they've both got the same one, 2-0 to Aston Villa. Oh, that's me with them as well. Wow, that's all 3 of us. No, ready?
Yeah.
Norwich versus Liverpool to finish off the Saturday games.
4-1 to Liverpool.
4-1. Yeah, I think Liverpool will. I think they'll send a message out in this game, definitely, to say we are still around, you know. I think that's going to be sort of the way that they're going to say it. And 4-1 will be a hell of a way to do it. But I'm going to go 3-1. Just 1 goal less than you. Oh, will Norwich score? Yeah, Norwich always scores now. Yeah, 3-1.
Jason and Joe.
Jason and Joe haven't both got the same. 3-0 to Liverpool, Jason's saying. And 2-0 to Liverpool, Joe is saying. To quote Joe in the first season, one of the Sheffield United games, Liverpool have got it in the bag, 3-0. Easy. Next game, Newcastle versus West Ham, the 2 o'clock kickoff game, the first of the Super Sunday games at St James's Park. What's your score prediction, Alex?
2-2.
I'm going to go... Of course, Newcastle haven't actually brung in any signings so far.
No, spent nothing.
Window. So a bit worrying on that side of things. Are we still relying on Joe Linton for goals, or is St Maximum again going to have to step up?
Wilson. What?
I just forgot about Wilson, yeah.
He never doesn't score against us. It's mad.
Yeah, I think he has a decent run against West Ham as well. I remember he scored against Bournemouth for Bournemouth in a couple of games. But I think West Ham will be the better team. I'm going to go for a 1-0. Yeah, a 2-0 West Ham win. Joe said for that game between Newcastle and the Hammers, 1-1.
Oh.
And Jason has said 2-1 to West Ham.
And then the last one, Spuds.
Spurs versus Manchester City. The 4:30 kickoff. I can't really see it there. 4:30 kickoff. Yep. The Harry Kane derby, you could say, depending on whether he goes to City before the transfer window shuts. What's your score prediction, Alex?
3-1 to City.
Oof. I'm going to go for 2-0 win to Manchester City. It'll be hard for them to break down, but I think they'll get 2 second half goals. Joe's gone the same as me, and Jason's gone the same as me. 2-0 all across the board. Apart from... What did you go? Went 3-1, didn't you?
Wait, did they both go 2-0?
Yeah, they both went 2-0, the same as me.
And Jason.
2-0 as well.
City. There we go.
So that is the score predictions done. Fredo's score predictions done for game week 1 of the 21-22 season. Goalinton, player of the year, Jason saying. We'll see. You never know. Doubt it though. But yeah, that is it from us for this podcast episode. It's been a long first episode, streaming it on YouTube the first time, 1 hour and 36 we're coming up to. But yeah, follow our social medias all down below. I'll read it out for the Spotify listeners as well. JDA Football Podcast. You'll be listening now on Spotify, at Google Podcast and Apple Podcast, Instagram JDA Football, Twitter JDA_football pod, and then Twitch is JDA Football as well. So you can go and have a look at that. Jason smells it. That smells like promotion. It certainly does. But we'll leave it there for this first episode. Thanks for everyone who will tune in hopefully later on as well. Thanks, Jason, for having a go at the score predictions and sending your team in. We'll see how the first game week goes, but it's exciting to be back, isn't it, Alex?
Yeah, definitely. I think we'll try and bring in some more guests to get their score predictions as well. So we'll have us three and then a guest in for the score predictions on this Fredo Spreado. So yeah, should be good.
Definitely. I don't think me and Joe shared it last. We didn't.
No, you have to get it.
We'll have to get it and bring it on stream. But yeah, thanks for everybody for tuning and watching and listening. But yeah, that's a bye from all of us. We'll see you in the next one.
Oh, do I need to leave?